Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. I'm still away from my home, but I am heading there pretty soon. But I want to do one last stream before I leave, and that is do not fall for this. If you're a Bitcoin holder and altcoin holder, you definitely don't want to be falling for it. I know a lot of you guys have been, and I'm going to show you proof why you shouldn't. What am I talking about? Whale games. Yes, a lot of whale games, a lot of manipulation going on. And I'm going to prove it to you that it's happening right in front of your eyes and why you should not fall for it. A lot of FUD, a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty recently. And that is why these whale games are increasing, intensifying, and you need to be careful. So thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, smash a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. 2 streams every day, 11:30, 8 p.m. or 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, except on the weekends. But make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. All right, guys, let's do this. Again, I'm away from my house. And you know what? So I have to pull on my chat from my phone here. So I'm going to do that. You know, yesterday I mentioned how I was walking around. In case you guys don't know, I am in Vegas right now, just walking around, and I got recognized eight separate times. I started yesterday's stream saying 3 at night. Got recognized a lot more. Even a pit boss from Venetian came up to me. I guess a lot of people watch my streams. But I'm very humbled by it. It's a good feeling, and I hope to meet a lot more of you guys at my Vegas conference/party in October. All right, so let's do this. So looking at Bitcoin, much better than yesterday, especially at night. Yesterday night, it fell down to 35,000 again. My whole point of my last night's stream was you just got to step away. There's too many people that are just fearing themselves out. They're flooding themselves out of the market, and that's unfortunate because there's so much more to the crypto market. There's so much more to Bitcoin, but unfortunately, you know, people are starting to feel panic. They're finding reasons to panic, like looking at 4chan posts or Wyckoff patterns and all these things that's making themselves convinced that the top is here, when in fact, it's not. And I'm going to show you how the whales are doing this. So it's unfortunate that the last, week or so we had a lot of FUD, a lot of things that have caused a lot of fear. And if you look at the crypto fear and greed index, it is at 12. When only last month we were actually in 65 in greed. We were in greed mode, and things were really good until retail investors, their confidence got shattered. That's why last night, I'm like, you know what? You really need to just stop checking prices. I know because I get constant comments and tweets about what's going on. Sometimes you just need to step away. And if you step away, you wake up and you realize things are a whole lot better. They're not getting worse. They're improving. So that is number one. And also, I stated that not to fall for FUD. What is this guy doing? All right, here we go. He's out. Not to fall for FUD. There's a lot of whales that are trying to gain more control, and you don't want to fall for it. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So today's stream is going to be lighthearted, pretty simple. I just want to show you some data. That's all. That's really it. So here's crypto quant, and this shows you the spot exchanges inflow. So let me move my camera up here. All right, so what is a spot exchange? Spot exchange is just a normal exchange that you use mainly for fiat buying. So for example, Coinbase, Gemini, Voyager, and several others, Kraken, Polkadot, stuff like that. So you look at, this is going back to the beginning of the year, January of 2021 versus now. And you could see that there's been, slight increases before back in January when Bitcoin did fall down to about 30,000. Yes, Bitcoin fell down to 30,000 from as high as 38,000. And you can see there was some panic. You could definitely see the inflows increased, right? But look at what has happened since February till now. February, Bitcoin peaked about 57,000. Then we had a peak of 61,000, then 63,000. You could see how the inflows kind of just leveled out, right? This is showing you retail investor confidence. Retail investors just blew off these dips. So what if it falls from 57 down to 45? So what if it falls from 61 to 51? So what if it falls from 63 down to even 49? Even that, you could see that there was not a lot of increase inflows of Bitcoin. That means retail investors like, whatever, right? Things will get better until recently when Bitcoin fell from about 60,000 down to where we are now, about 38,000. You could see a big jump, right? Again, this shows you the retail investor confidence level got shattered by the whales. They did what they intended to do, and it worked. And a lot of it was media driven. Obviously, we had the Elon effect, and then we have the China effect, and now the U.S. tax effect. There's just a lot of things going on, and that is why you can clearly see for the last 3-4 months, retail confidence was sky high. That's why altcoins were going up, despite the fact Bitcoin really kind of went sideways until recently. And now look at derivatives. Okay, this is what the whales like to do. You look at whales, their inflows into BitMEX, Bybit, these kind of exchanges, Bitfinex. You could see that throughout this, it's been pretty level. A little bit of activity here, right? Obviously, this was done to drive Bitcoin down and liquidate the shorts, right? Pretty obvious. You can see how it's been pretty sideways, right, until this point to drive this down. And look at what has happened recently, right? This is not a coincidence that the derivative exchange inflow has increased dramatically within the last few weeks, right? So this kind of shows you what's going on. Retail investors, they're panicking right now, which is why the inflows went up a little bit. But derivative exchanges, these are the ones that are used by whales. And they purposely up this more and more and more because they know right now is the time to do it because there's so much fear out there. And here is further proof. So I'm going to zoom in even more. This is specifically just the inflow on Bybit. You guys know about Bybit, famous derivatives exchange. And I just want you to look at this real quick. I mean, it's really, really obvious what's going on here. You notice that every time Bitcoin dips, at the same approximate time, you see a large inflow of Bitcoin. And I mean, it's pretty telling. From 50 to 50, from 55 to 50, you see a large inflow on Bybit. Same thing. When this dip, large inflow, right? Recently, when we went down to 30,000, very massive inflow into Bybit. And no, this is not flowing into Bybit to buy. This is flowing into Bybit to drive things further. Recently, right, we had recovery up to 41,000 and then came back down. Look at all these massive inflows into Bybit. Is this a coincidence? No, none of this is a coincidence. This is data. Data that shows you what some of the whales are doing, right? With all the FUD that's going on right now, there's a lot of fear. Retail investors, very fearful. That is why altcoins are doing very bad. You can see that even though Bitcoin is doing better today, Bitcoin dominance went up, is 45.5%. So right now, Bitcoin is coming up, but altcoins are not really coming up because altcoins are driven by retail investors. Bitcoin is driven by institutional investors and whales and some retail investors, but altcoins, almost 100% altcoins is driven by retail investors. And that's why retail investors right now haven't come back into the altcoins, which is why they're not going up right now, which is why BTC Dominance is going up. So don't fall for it. And the whole point of me showing you this is, when there's fear, uncertainty, and doubt, right, there will be people that will try to take advantage. This is why I mentioned about control. They want to control things and they want to accumulate more. The whole point of this is so that you release your Bitcoin and altcoins to them so they can accumulate more while they can, while it's cheap. And they look for every opportunity to do so. And that is why you don't want to fall for it. If you're checking your prices, you're checking your portfolio every single second or every single minute, it's really going to drive you nuts, especially if you're new. If you're an old timer, you lived through 2017 and all the way to 2020, or even you lived through 2013 all the way to now, you've seen this before. You're not falling for it. You know there's going to be whale games. But for those of you guys that entered during this time, when retail investor confidence was sky high, right? Now you're getting a taste of something that you haven't experienced before, and it's not good. It's not good to see your altcoins get shattered and go down 30, 40, 50% within a single week, right? I know that, but this is what occurs. This is what whale games are all about, especially when there's a lot of negative tension right now within the space. So don't fall for it. And lastly, I just want to show you guys stock to flow. This is one of the best measurements in terms of if Bitcoin is on track within the 4-year cycle. And right now you can see it is still on track. In fact, it was moving faster than the last 4-year cycle in terms of this last parabolic rise. And we can see that we're about halfway through. We're about halfway through, like right around here. And you can see that during 2017, there was many dips along the way. And you could look at 2013, right? You could see also there was actually a major dip and then it continued forward. So a lot of people think that our current cycle mimics the 2013 cycle. So you could see that 2013, there was an overshot and then it came down and then boom, it went again. And that could be certainly what we're seeing right now. So everything is still on track. Don't fall for the media FUD. Don't fall for the whale-ish games. Stay on course. Focus on the future. Remember, you're investing for the long haul. You're investing for life-changing wealth, not short-term gains, although that is a big benefit. But you got to remember what's going on. Nothing comes easy, even with crypto. And this is part of the experience. So if you haven't lived through it, make sure you stay strong and focus on the future. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. I'll turn to you guys for some Q&A. All right, let me refresh this. All right, so scrolling back, let's see. Sang, thank you for that. Did you hear about Creamy Spinach? Asked about, did you hear about the DeFi 100 scam that took 32 million from investors? No, but it would not surprise me. There's just too many projects out there, especially ones that's promising that you're gonna make a ton of money. It has always existed. In 2017, ICOs left and right, same thing right now. You don't even need ICO. Projects just do airdrops or come out with a next meme coin or a next 100x coin. So that's why I tend to not focus on them, because a lot of them will do a rug pull or exit scam or they just go under, and you just got to be careful. You got to be careful. Am I personally holding? Yes. I have not sold anything off. In fact, I've just been buying. Been buying little bit, not going all in. That's what I advise. Those of you guys that are trying to get in, always sprout your buys. No matter how much you have that you want to put in, sprout your buys. That way you'll be protected. TheTAJ says, data's on uphold today. Thank you. Appreciate that. Sean, I've been dollar cost averaging Cardano since 3 cents. And now my staking awards are looking awesome every 5 days. Thanks for keeping everyone calm. I'm glad to hear that. I met yesterday the pit boss I met. I forgot his name. I think it was Kevin. He told me, yeah, he was like a little panicked. And I'm like, oh, so what did you get in at? Like, what were you holding? He's like, yeah, I got in Cardano at 7 cents. I'm like, then what the hell are you panicking about? Cardano is at $1.50. You got it in 7 cents. What the hell are you scared about? Daniel says 21 EMA weekly close, 200 EMA daily close when things get critical. You guys know me. I'm not a big TA guy. Some people will say that Bitcoin has to do this or this or this on a TA perspective, or it's going bad, right? All this TA is they're lagging indicators. Now, some of them from a macro perspective, long perspective, it does work, but you know what? I think Bitcoin is still on track. Top dip buys, George is king. I appreciate that. I mean, I talked about this yesterday. When you go down the list, you know, I've covered a lot of altcoins right now. I'm concentrating on the big caps, the ones that are concentrating on smart contracts, and the ones that are helping Ethereum scale or alleviating pressure from Ethereum, and that is the layer 2s or EVM compatible chains. I think these are the ones that are really, they're almost like blue chips. Like fundamentally, they are the ones that a lot of people gravitate towards because they're the builders. They help the whole ecosystem build. So I created a video just yesterday about that, or 2 days ago. Take a look, but I mean, you go down the list, even the big caps, when Polkadot is down 52%, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Nothing fundamentally changed, right? And same thing with Binance Coin, down 48%, Cardano down 35%, Ethereum down 39%. And you go down the list, you know, Uniswap 46, Chainlink 44, Solana is holding better at 20, but Stellar negative 44. I mean, Polygon negative 32, Theta down 28. There's no rhyme, VeChain. There's no reason why they've gone down other than consumer confidence levels got shattered. But we need to rebuild that. I mean, that is something that could be rebuilt. It's not like, oh, it's gone forever. No. I mean, prior to 2021, you know, retail investor confidence was still kind of shaky. I mean, this chart actually shows you pretty well. Even though this measures Bitcoin, it's a pretty good indication. You look at what happened like early January when Bitcoin is dipping. You had large inflows of BTC. Retail was panicking, so they basically inflowed Bitcoin into like Coinbase and sold it off. But you could see that after Bitcoin climbed from 30,000 all the way up to about 60,000, retail investors were, you know, confidence was sky high, right? So obviously it changed vastly from January and then going into February and going all the way to May. We could get that back. We could get that back. That's what I try to do. Try to calm people down with my streams, present evidence, and look at the fundamentals, right? So we could definitely get it back. It's just that people need to stop flooding themselves out of the market, and that's what's happening right now. Yeah, I'm not gonna look at Pink Node right now. Would you suggest holding off alts to BTC if price is right? Any views on when they could recover and which levels? It depends on when confidence comes back. That's really it. Altcoins are driven 100% by retail. Okay, outside of maybe a few that Grayscale Trust, you know, offers trust for, but outside of those, almost everything else is retail driven. So we need to have that retail investment. I mean, confidence come back. So basically, you know, when things are, capitulated. I guess when Kathy Wood and everyone else calls, you know, Bitcoin capitulation, that just happened at 30,000. I believe that's the case, and retail investor confidence will also capitulate. Once that happens, then we can build up from there, and that could be right now. That could be right now. That actually very well could be right now. Mohammed said, I see BTC going up to 140 to 150 by November. My question is, what do altcoins do? Well, usually if Bitcoin peaks, usually like the last month is very, very, very bullish for altcoins. We have seen some tremendous movement, but this is nothing compared to like the tail end of the cycle. If the tail end of the cycle for Bitcoin is coming at the end of this year, man, November, December, January, if they're like a repeat of what happened in 2017 and 18 versus now, you'll see altcoins go 10x, 100x within like a month's time. Yeah, it'll be really crazy. Okay, I follow your portfolio advice. I sold out Telcoin for half of BTC 2 days ago. Well, you probably made up a lot more by doing so. Okay, daily bull signal on Marcus Cipher. Okay. Are altcoins going to lag BTC until next bear market? I don't know. I mentioned about this Bitcoin dominance. It's almost like clockwork. It's almost at the same point because Bitcoin dominance right here, you see 45.6%, and it's still going up. Um, the same thing happened in 2017, mid 2017, right around June time. So we're not too far off. Right around June time is when Bitcoin dominance fell to a low of 37%, and then it started rising up. Right? We had the same scenario happen where Bitcoin dominance fell to a 30 percentile, 39 something, and now we're seeing it come back up, right? So I guess it really depends on remaining this year as Bitcoin comes up. Will altcoins continue to go up just as fast, or if not more, or it kind of lags until the end of the cycle where altcoins goes up? I guess we have to see. It's like we may be at that turning point, but maybe altcoins come back in full force. Austin, I'm new to crypto. You've really helped me. I'm glad to hear that. You're knowledgeable, logical, and honest. Are there any other credible channels you recommend for reliable information? I mean, I don't really watch other channels, but I hear good things about Coin Bureau. Jason Pisano, he seems to be a good guy. I'm on Rand's show quite a bit, so I think his show is pretty good. And a lot of people talk about Sheldon, so I would say check those out. Do you think altcoin holders pulled out to USDT are waiting on the sidelines? Yes. If you look at USDT and all these stable coins, so that's a good question. I mean, someone just recently asked me, hey, why is the market cap on USDT and all these other stable coins, why have they not gone down? Because they haven't gone down because retail investors are just parking them into them. So that's why. But yeah, I think a lot of retail investors just like waiting for next move, and they're afraid. It's just so much FUD, and people are afraid right now. Do you think Tether FUD could get real and drag? No, I think we're over that. People like to hinder on that, but they just got out of a 2-year lawsuit with the New York Attorney General's office. New York is one of the strictest states for crypto laws. They're not just going to let Bitfinex and Tether off the hook unless they're 100% sure that they recover the funds and they are legit. So I think the Tether FUD is over. Please suggest something for flow price. I have nothing to suggest other than Top Shots is doing fantastic. They got a lot of investors, a lot of people invested in NBA Top Shots, and that's going to help flow carry. Let's go carry flow very far. What is happening with Matic? Nothing. Matic is doing very well. In fact, it's holding pretty well versus some of the other altcoins. Can someone ask about XRP? Nothing. Nothing's going on with XRP. I mean, supposedly they were in court. They're trying to figure out what's going on with the lawsuit. I haven't heard of any updates. I moved my camera back, so nothing's going on with the XRP. It went down along with all the other altcoins. That's pretty much it. Do you do training courses? We could work with you. No, I don't. I have Patreon. It's like a big support group, private Discord. I give some more advice within it, so you could check that out. But I don't have any like trading groups or anything, if that's what you're asking. This is an opportunity to practice fearlessness. We're creating new financial networks. Stay the course, people. Denise, that is correct. Nothing comes simple. I think people just assume that Bitcoin has only been out for 11 years. People just kind of assume, in 11 years, you could overthrow the Federal Reserve and all the banks and all the financial institutions out there. No, that's impossible to do in 11 years. But think about what Bitcoin has accomplished within 11 years. A digital currency created by anonymous person or team, and now it is where it is, and now even some of the biggest companies on earth are buying it, and everyone is literally talking about it. That kind of shows you how amazing this digital store value or currency or network is. I mean, it's really amazing. People just need to realize that Rome wasn't built in a single day, and Bitcoin was is not going to overthrow everything in a single day too. You gotta have patience. You have to have patience. Someone asked about Link, Filecoin, ADA. I think those are good holds, though I still like Arweave better than Filecoin. But Filecoin is There's nothing wrong with it being a big cap. Any comments on Polkadot? I think Polkadot, I have no idea why Polkadot sold off way more than everyone else. Polkadot, from big cap perspective, I thought they were the most undervalued because they haven't had really any big run ups recently within the last month or so. We've seen, Dogecoin, of course, run up. We've seen Cardano run up. We've seen Ethereum run up. We've seen a lot of run ups. Polkadot has always been stagnant, but you could definitely tell why they're not running up right now, because there's just not a whole lot of people that have that much faith in Polkadot, so that's why they sold off more too. However, they're still in the top 10, so they're still good. Quid is owned by Animoca, which I'm proud to say is going to have a big involvement with my Vegas conference, so I'm glad to hear it. And Quid is kind of, they're separate. They're kind of in digital collectibles, but they're not full blown NFTs. But that is the plan. They're going to be converted to NFTs. I don't know when that is, but that's what I heard. XVS Venus, I do like runs. I'm not familiar with that project. The Sun, thank you, and I think that's pretty much it. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys go. I gotta prepare and pack and stuff, but overall, guys, like I said, don't FUD yourself out of the market. There is a lot of media that is writing articles left and right, making you feel like the world is coming to an end, at least in Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's world is coming to an end. No, it's not. It is not. Bitcoin goes through this. This is probably the first major drop that a lot of you guys have experienced, but trust me, it will get better. It always does. Bitcoin's not going to go away anytime soon, but right now, unfortunately, because of retail investors just having too much panic, you could clearly see with the crypto greed index, and you could clearly see with the mass inflows recently, right? That is why altcoins are still weak. However, what all these famous investors say, you buy when blood is in the street. You buy when others are fearful. And right now is definitely one of those times. And you basically, you dollar cost average and you hodl, have patience, and that's how you do it. Don't fear yourself out despite the whale games that is going on right now. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned tonight. I'll say 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.